So I'm Valeria Rodriguez. I'm 18 years old. I study at San Diego Med High School. I think it's the biggest challenge I have faced. It all started when I was 15 years old. So it took us like 2 years to get the visa and everything. It was a long process. Every day I woke up in Mexico and I was like, when I will come to the United States. We didn't knew anything. We didn't knew like an exact date. And then everything changed. I was starting high school in Mexico. I moved the end of the first semester, so I didn't end up there. And I changed. I arrived here and I had like this whole dream, the American dream, and I thought it was going to be amazing because I literally put all my life from Mexico. I like kind of took it away and I put all my dreams and aspirations like in a little bag and just come here to the United States. So I literally left my family. All my family lives there. My parents and my brother stayed and my parents are here with me. So I thought it was going to be super good. The first time I arrived at a high school, I thought it was going to be like High School Musical, and it didn't went that way. People didn't talk to me. The teachers were not like really nice, and I had like a hard time at school and with the language because I didn't speak so fluently, and I had like a hard time talking to other people. So it was really hard for me, and also I used to cry every day. I was like, I don't want to be here. I thought it's going to be different. How is this worth it? This is not going like, I don't see like a process. And I remember my parents were like, chill, this is like the first year. You'll get there. Don't worry about it. And I thought that it wasn't going to be like good. And I wanted to go back to Mexico actually. And after a year, I've been a year here, the Met, the new school I am, changed me like the whole perspective. They actually talked to me. The first day I arrived, I was like with my mom and I was like, Mom, people like actually talk to me. It was surprising. It was like, it was really good. It felt like home. And then they offered me college classes. They offered me internships so I could like volunteer. And I was like, this is the opportunities I've been waiting for. And when my counselor told me I could graduate early, I was like, I'm going to do that. And it was harder than I thought because I didn't know anything about college, about the cost of college. We weren't living here, so we didn't have like that money to spend on college, that saving. So when we see the prices, we were like we cannot pay for college. So I'm trying to like look for all these scholarships. I tried a lot of things. I got a scholarship from schools, so I was really proud of that. And little by little, I started like seeing that everything was going into place. I got new friends. My school helped me a lot. It was like my second home. And then I realized it was worth it. It was really hard, like not seeing my grandma on her birthday, or like looking my grandparents at like in FaceTime and not being like there with them like on Christmas or like their birthdays. I was just like, it was heartbroken, like leaving your life to get a new one. But at the end, like right now where I am, which I will graduate in 2 weeks, I'm really happy what I have achieved and I feel really proud of that. I think a little bit of my family has really been supportive because I've been always the girl that wants to be like, I'm like, okay, I cannot do this and I will do that, and I always find a way out. I was like, okay, if I'm in this school, what like academic advantage I can take? So I started taking like extra classes, or at my new high school, I started taking extra college classes. And I was like, well, I can do this and I can do that. I can join a team, I could join a sport. And when I was in my first high school, I didn't feel like that, and I was like doing everything I could. I like in my personal level, I was reading books to like keep me going, and I was like kind of motivating myself to keep going. But it was one time that I like couldn't, and my parents were my biggest support. They were like, you know, like we know you from you were little, and we have like seen you grow, and you will always be like the number star in the class. And I was the only one like, oh, the president of the class of course is Valeria. Like I was like kind of that girl, and they were like, you can do it. This is like a huge change and a huge like bump in the road, like the world is giving you, and you more than anyone knows how to like overcome it. So I was like, that's true. this will be like temporary, so I need to keep going. So I think my parents and myself were like thinking like, I can actually do this, and I will plan like the whole thing to do it. I remember one day I was in Mexico, and we were driving out to get, I think, like tacos, and I told my parents, like, I was 13 years old, and I was like, I already know my life plan, and they were like, okay. And I said, like, I want to be a psychologist, I want to get a bachelor's degree, and then I want to get a master's degree at child psychologist, like child development, and I want to go to a university in the United States, and I will do it. And they were like, okay. And I don't know, ever since I was little, I love like listening to people. I was the one in the family who was like, okay, you can all chill, I can listen to your problems. Like with my brother, he's older, but I was always like the older one. I was like, okay, tell me what's going on. So I was always liking to like have like problem like solving skills. And when I got here, I was like, I can actually study psychology in a really good university. And I actually had the chance to go to a really good university. So I was like, my plan of 13-year self, it's like coming to like a result. So I was really happy about it. And psychology really inspires me. Like I think about every time I like see that I couldn't do more, I was like relaxing myself, and I was like, keep going. One day you'll be a really famous psychology, or you'll be like a really good psychology. Like you will help people with your job. So I was just like, okay, I should keep going. I actually, this is like kind of my dream. I want to be a psychologist, and especially like in child development. And I actually want to have my own school, like a different type of school, because I really believe that we can change the world from little. Because I think like we can change from like older people, but I think it's better if we like encourage little kids to be change makers. And I will like encourage them to study. It will not be like the basic like grades, like, oh, you had like an 80 and that defines you, but to be like, hey, this is going to be like life. We will teach you about economics, how to control your like economic life, your personal life. And I really want them to like build up for the future and to be whatever they want to do, and to be like change makers. So I think if I do that in the future, I would change a little of the world. Okay, so actually doing this interview is kind of hard, because I don't like talking about like my past, because it's bring me like a lot of like the trauma moments and like the hard part. But I want to like say to everyone that's saying this, that everything that you propose, you can do it. I'm the example here. I proposed that I wanted to study. I did everything I could do to be wherever I am. So I really encourage you that like the hard part will pass, and the challenge that you overcome will have a result, and everything you want to propose, you can do it. So I think that's my message for all of you.